It is 4 in the afternoon. The school door swings open and your child climbs into the car. You ask about their day, and instead of an answer, you get a meltdown over a snack, a slammed door, tears about nothing. You have tried everything: snacks, screens, more patience than you knew you had. Nothing settles them. Here is what most parents never realize. The problem is almost never too little structure. It is too much of it. Your child's whole day is packed end to end with almost no time that belongs only to them, and the fix is one small, quiet window each day. Let's call it the quiet window. A short stretch of the day, 15 short minutes to start, when your child plays or reads alone, in their own space, with no screen, no plan, and no grown-up directing the fun. It sounds almost too simple, but it quietly rebuilds something that modern busy childhood has slowly lost. Here is where it gets interesting. In one study, researchers gave one group of children a structured task with clear instructions, and another group a lump of dough and nothing else. Later, both groups made a collage. The children who had been left with open, unstructured time used more colors and showed far more creativity. Boredom, it turns out, is where invention begins. There is a name for that deep, lost track of time focus. Psychologists call it flow, and children slip into it most easily, not when we entertain them, but when we leave them alone. And here is the part that surprised me most. When a child fills empty time, their brain has to work in a new way. They plan, they decide, they build. Research on unstructured play links it directly to executive function, the mental skills behind focus, patience, and self-control. The quiet window is not idle, it is training. So the goal is not to fill your child's day with more and more, it is to protect one small pocket of less. And yes, that feels uncomfortable at first, for them and for you, so let me show you exactly how to start, step by step, without the bedtime battle. What downtime does for the brain. Picture this. Your child gets home from a long school day, grabs a snack, flops in front of a screen. It looks like rest. But for an overstimulated brain, passive screen time is just more input. The grumpiness builds. The smallest thing tips them over. What they are starving for is not another show. It is genuine, quiet space to land. In Sweden, there is a word for this, lagom. It means not too much and not too little, just enough to feel content. Swedes build in quiet, recharging time on purpose, and children need it too. A short, quiet window after school is not one more task. It is the off switch their nervous system has been begging for. And here is the quiet secret. This is not only good for your child. A daily pause to disengage and recharge is a healthy habit at every single age, including yours. So try this together at first. Sit quietly near your child with your own book or your own quiet thing. You are not supervising them. You are simply showing them what calm actually looks like. Children learn rest the same way they learn everything else, by watching the grown-ups they love and trust do it first. Chapter 2. Start small. The biggest mistake is starting too big. Your toddler will not play quietly for an hour on day 1, and neither will your 6-year-old. So start tiny, 15 minutes, maybe even 10. If you set it short and they succeed, they feel proud and capable. If you set it long and they keep coming out, they learn they cannot do it. Small wins build the habit. Young children have no real sense of time, so give them something they can see. I call it the clock cue. Use a colored timer or a kid's clock that changes color. Green means quiet time. When the color changes, quiet time is over. Now the clock holds the rule, not you, and there is nothing left to argue about. And when they do it, say so out loud. Look what you built all by yourself. Wasn't that calm and fun? Naming the good days is what makes the habit stick. Chapter 3. The bin rotation. Now, completely open time is the dream, but for younger kids, it is unrealistic on day 1. The psychologist Vygotsky described scaffolding. When something is hard, you support the child until they can do it alone, the way scaffolding holds a building until it stands on its own. You do not build it for them, you simply give them a starting point. Here is the simplest version. Make 5 small bins, each with different toys, mostly things they already own but have half forgotten, animals and puzzles in one, cars and crayons in another, building pieces in a third. Pull out just 1 bin each day. Old toys feel brand new again, and you have an instant rotation that costs you nothing. If you have more than 1 child, the bins quietly solve another problem. Each kid gets their own time and their own space to do their own thing, with no little hands wrecking the big kids' project. Books work beautifully too, even for kids who cannot read yet. Borrow a fresh stack from the library and save them only for quiet time. For a reluctant child, a short audiobook or soft music in the room can ease them in. Many kids actually settle into play faster with a little sound in the background. Chapter 4: As They Grow. Once they start school, quiet time changes. A long day leaves them so drained that sending them to a quiet room would just send them to sleep. So after school, reach for hands-on sensory play instead. Play-Doh, a sandbox, swinging, or just lying in a hammock outside. Movement and texture unwind an overtired body in a way that sitting still simply cannot. And here is the game changer for older kids. When they outgrow that early bedtime, sleep resistance creeps back in. The routine drags, so offer before bed quiet time, not as a chore, but as their time to read or play quietly until they feel sleepy. For many families, the bedtime battle simply disappears and the parents get their evening back. The trick is in the framing. Do not call it a rule or a quiet time order. Call it their time, to do whatever they like until they feel tired. That small shift hands them the autonomy, and suddenly they are choosing rest instead of fighting it. Now here's what most parents never learn. Chapter 5: The Family Habit. All of this works when life is predictable, but what about holidays and vacations, the most overscheduled days of all? That is when quiet time becomes a family thing. On a winter break, try a hot cocoa and reading hour, everyone cozied up on the sofa with their own book. The whole house exhales at once. On a trip, build the rest right into the plan. A lazy afternoon between the pool and the beach, an hour of reading, or just lying in a hammock together doing nothing at all. It feels counterintuitive to slow down on vacation. But often the rainy stay inside days become the memories your kids treasure most. And over time, something quietly shifts. The ability to play alone stops being a scheduled box and becomes a real skill. Your child can fill empty time, sit with boredom, and entertain themselves without a screen. It stops being only quiet time and starts spilling into the rest of their whole life. So picture that same 4 o'clock pickup again, same car, same long day. But this time, instead of a meltdown, there is a small, settled quiet, because their day finally has a little room to breathe. You do not need a perfect schedule or a perfectly calm child. You just need one small, protected, quiet window each day, because good enough is enough. If this helped, subscribe and share it with one parent who is fighting the after-school meltdown tonight. You both deserve a little quiet.